Assalamu alaikum. I hope you are all fine and safe.
Today, we're going to keep learning about the immune system, looking at the ABO system, which is other self-marker blood groups, and how blood transfusions work. Then we'll go through some examples to apply this concept. Before we get started, let me ask you a few questions. Do you know what are the possible humans' blood groups? Why can a human receive a specific type or types of blood groups and reject another type? What is the blood group or groups that can be given to each individual? The blood groups are determined by ABO system. The possible humans' blood groups are shown in the following document. Here are the possible blood groups A, B, AB, and O. So we have four blood groups. Each human being has a specific blood group which may be A, B, AB, or O. ABO system is other marker of the self. So it's another self marker. Do you still remember the first self marker that we talked about last time? Yeah, it's the HLA system. So the second self marker is the ABO system. The first self marker is the HLA system, and the second is the ABO system. ABO system of blood groups is characterized by the presence or absence of antigen A and or antigen B. These antigens are called agglutinogens or antigens. Agglutinogens or antigens on the membrane of the red blood cells. Red blood cells are also known as erythrocytes. And by that of specific antibodies directed against these antigens. These antibodies are called agglutinins, agglutinins, anti-A or anti-B in plasma. So the ABO system is characterized by the presence or the absence of antigen A or B and by that of specific antibodies. As we talked before, we have four blood groups, group A, group B, group AB, and group O. Here are the antigens. These are the antigens. And these are the antibodies. These are the antibodies. Antibodies. These are antibodies. And these are the antigens. Here are the antigens. As you can see here, blood group A has antigen A. Blood group B has antigen B. Blood group AB has antigen A and antigen B. Okay, and blood group O has no antigen. To make it more clear, let's circle the antigens in blue and the antibodies in red. The antigen in blue, these are the antigens. These are the antigens. These are the antigens. And the antibodies in red, these are the antibodies. Antibodies in red. As you can see here, blood group A has antigen A, and the antibodies for blood group A is anti-B. So blood group A has antigen A and antibody B. Blood group B has antigen B and antibody A. Blood group AB has antigen A and B, and it has no antibodies. Blood group O has no antigen, it has anti-A and anti-B. So we conclude that individual of blood group A has antigens A called agglutinogens A on his red blood cell surface and antigen B antibodies. Anti-B antibodies. Individual of blood group B has antigens B and anti-A antibodies. Individual of blood group AB has A and B antigens and no antibodies. Individual of blood group O has no antigens and it has anti-A and anti-B antibodies. As we talked before, we have 4 blood groups. The blood group O has no antigen, A has antigen A, B has antigen B, AB has antigen A and B. The antibody for O is A and B. The AB has no antigen. If we look at the arrows, this arrow means it can donate to itself. So blood group O can donate for people who have blood group O. And so for A, B, and AB. And what we want to remark in the ABO system that once we are talking about the blood transfusion, the donor that will give the blood, we should look at its antigen, and the recipient, we should look at its antibody. And in order to determine the blood type or the blood group of an individual, we should make blood tests. You can determine an individual's blood type by mixing a drop of blood with a drop of serum containing antibody A and B. So in a blood test, we should have agglutination, which means the binding of antibodies to antigen. During a blood transfusion, it is said that there is compatibility between the donor and the recipient if the recipient doesn't have antibodies against the antigen of the donor. Now, let's solve this application. Ali is a boy of blood group A, wants to donate blood to his friend Hussam of blood group O. This transfusion is rejected. Explain why it is rejected. If we want to see the donor, it's of blood group A. So it has antigen A. The receiver or the recipient has anti-A and B. So for that, agglutination will happen or not? Yes, it will happen. So it will be rejected. So the answer is, since blood group O has anti-A and anti-B, and blood group A has antigen A, thus agglutination will happen between antigen A and anti-A, which leads to the rejection of this transfusion. Specify the blood group that can be given to Hussam. Hussam is blood group O, so he can receive from blood group O only because it is a universal donor and it has both antibodies A and B. So he can't receive from either A or B or AB as well. So, since Hussam is blood group O, then he can receive from blood group O only. Thank you for watching. Please study pages 14 and 15 in your immunology booklet.